Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the Dr. Ira Show again here on I Worship 96. This morning, I have an artist that is going to shock your socks off. I hear she's the best thing since sliced bread over here, global. So I'm happy to have her on the Dr. Ira Show this morning. Please help me welcome and celebrate Miss Talasia. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. I am well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
We're excited to have you this morning. So, do you have a guest with you?
Yes, this is my husband, Quentin Showell, the second piece to the puzzle.
I know that's right. Good morning, sir. How are
Morning.
you? So
I'm
we have
I'm
we
fine.
have we're blessed with a double whammy this morning. So
Yes.
let's get right into it. It's always good to see authentic people. I hate to see people who are always the same. The world needs some shaking up.
Yes.
And I believe that you bring that. I loved reading
Oh, thank you.
your bio and how you and your husband collaborated, and it's just a testament that even in this world that we live in, where there's so much foolishness on TV and there's so much sex and violence and all that foolishness, it's good to see that Black love still exists in the church.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's good to see that. So I'm
Yes.
excited. So it says you're from Jersey. So which
Yes.
part of Jersey are you from?
So I'm from South Jersey. I was born in Galloway, so right near Atlantic City.
Okay, Atlantic
Yes.
City. Have you ever gone out
Yeah.
to perform before?
So I've done a couple of things. I've done a little, I guess they would call it like a little, just I guess a freestyle thing. And we did a
Okay.
debut concert last year at
Oh,
our church, which
good.
was amazing.
I know that.
We opened up for the wonderful Miss Marette Clark Brown last year, which was
Awesome.
amazing. And then
Wow.
also we did a concert with Mr. Marvin Sapp and Dr. Bobby Jones. So God was blessing.
I know that's
And
right. I
yes.
know that's right. So 2 years old, it said you had been singing since you were two.
Yes.
When did you know that this was a passion of yours? And did you want it to be your purpose? So I have two questions in one. When did you know,
Okay.
even though you were singing it too, when did you know this was your passion? And did you still want to be your purpose? I know we ain't gotten to your story yet, but there's a reason I'm
Yes.
asking.
Absolutely. So my mama told me that I've been singing as soon as I could talk, which was the age of 2. And I watched my mom actually. She used to do her own music, and she would go to the studio, and I would watch her come home and write. She would have a notebook full of songs, and I wanted to be just like my mom. So I would find myself just singing and wanting to be just like her. And I actually started really having a passion for writing songs, so much so that my family knew all the songs that I wrote, and they would go around telling people they wrote them, but that's okay. But it was about when I was a teenager that I loved music. My mom got me 3 CDs. It was Brandy, Full Moon album, Kiera Sheard, and at the time Deborah Cox. And
Mm,
I listened to them over and over and over and over again, and I fell in love with just the music and the harmonies. And by the time I got older and I was in church and I dedicated my life to God, I found out that my passion and my purpose was aligned with each other,
mm,
and that the music was just a conversation starter. I loved music, but I wanted to talk about God. So that's what I chose to do. I met my husband, and he just had the same passion for music. We both had a love for God. And so it kind of just worked together. And God has literally sent men to prophesy over us when we weren't even thinking about music. And to see God's promises start to come to pass, it gives me bigger faith and bigger
I
security
know
in the
that.
God that I serve. And I know that it's bigger than music. It's about ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And so we keep that at the forefront of what we do. But I know that I just so happen to be able to love singing, and it just so happens to be my purpose as well. So
Wow, that's awesome. What was some words of advice that your mother gave you growing up while you were growing into this awesome woman that you are? What were some words of advice that your mother gave you concerning people or audiences or even about the church?
well, I think my mom more so gave me principles that
Mm-hmm.
stuck with me, that allowed me to kind of know how to navigate through world and through church life.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of things that she always told me first and foremost was to never step out of the safety of God, never step
Mm-hmm.
out of his ark of safety. It's a dangerous place. That's always stuck with me my whole life. And I know it to be true because I did it, and it's a dangerous place out there. So I know that to be true. And another thing that my mom always told me is to stay true to myself and stay humble, stay sweet, stay loving. She raised me that way. And no matter what happens, no matter what people do to you, you have the responsibility to remain true to yourself first and foremost. And then when you have a purpose in God, you have the responsibility to stay loving and stay forgiving and gracious. And I think that through God loving me and forgiving me, I've learned how to love and forgive others. And I think that that has allowed me to navigate through this life.
Yeah, that resonates from you. That resonates from you. That love, that's
Mm,
important. A lot of people don't have that anymore.
it's
Um,
true.
excuse me. Why did you feel the traditional church would not accept your style of music that you
Hmm.
wanted to present? What made you? I remember reading you were younger,
Yeah.
so you were younger and not
Hmm.
even a grown up, and you
Hmm.
felt like the traditional church would
Hmm.
not receive mainly your gift to the world.
Yes.
So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, of course. Well, first, I would have to say that I've grown a lot in my spiritual life since, a child. I grew up in the church,
Mm-hmm.
so I was raised in the church. I was raised in holiness,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh
so
yeah.
I also was raised in tradition. As I grew up in my spiritual life, not my
Mm-hmm.
natural life, but my spiritual journey, I kind of started figuring out that God wasn't based in tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was a part of my growth because I realized that our culture in church was it's based on tradition, a lot of it. And trying to get out of that and really build an authentic relationship with God, I knew that I loved music. And I remember reading scriptures and searching the scriptures for what type of music is God's music. And he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't say that it's hand clapping, foot stomping. He
Mm-mm.
doesn't say that.
Mm-mm.
And so it gave me the freedom to understand that I love all types of music and I'm going to be myself. And so you're going to hear all types of different stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it just so happens that my husband is just the same way. He loves all different types of music and
Mm-hmm.
genres of music, but our message stays the same and it's
Yeah.
consistent,
Yeah.
which is the gospel of God and which is the love of God. And it's real, it's transparent. It's about stuff that I've been through, stuff that
Mm-hmm.
we've been through, the struggle. Even in our single rejoice, you're going to see struggle. You're going to see eviction. You're going to see termination letters. And we went through it. And so it's real. And I want to encourage people and let them know that even through every single thing that this life can throw at you, he still reigns and he's still in control of everything. And so that's encouraging to me. And I hope that it just encourages somebody else to trust them a little bit more. And if I do that, I feel like that I'm fulfilled.
I love what you said that you and your husband like all different genres of music. I heard you say your
Mm-hmm.
mom bought you a brandy.
Yes.
What was the album?
Full moon. Full moon.
Enjoyed it. Um, Deborah Cox
Mm-hmm.
and
Kira shared.
you know,
Yes.
even she had to kind of
Mm-hmm.
evolve because
Yes.
of the different culture we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to hear, I'm sorry, but not even I want to hear a bunch of old Negro spiritual. That's not the, I don't think I want to go to praise and worship and hear, sorry, but I think
Yeah.
it's important that we have to have people like you and your husband because we're losing a
Mm-hmm.
generation. They are
Right.
listening to all of this stuff, as you said, that does not have the message and don't want to come even near anything that we say is gospel or inspirational because it's boring. So
Right.
I want to give you a hand clap, you and your husband, that you are staying true, as you said, to your message. People get
Mm-hmm.
caught up. I was at my cousin, she was 25 and she got married maybe a couple weeks ago, and they wanted me to be this MC because I guess I make people laugh. I don't know. But so I wore this clown mask, and they were calling the people in, the wedding party. And they didn't have, gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
Each one represented some song. And I didn't know the song myself, but the people were just sitting there looking. I'm like, I think it's okay if we celebrate. I mean, this is a
Yes.
celebration of a union. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I don't think God's going to get us in trouble if we
Yeah.
celebrate. So, I think it's a shame, but I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what you bring. Um, I want to get to both of your relationship in a minute. Oh, challenges for
Yes.
you both. What has been some of the greatest challenges in you getting to where you are today?
Um, the greatest challenges. Well, we've we've been through a lot. I met my husband when I was 15. He was 16 years
Wow.
old. We
Okay.
met in the church. Um, And we got married young, 18 and 19 years old.
Okay.
So that was about 8 years ago. I'm now 26, he's 27. And so you can imagine being married young, being together young. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. We've been through financial struggles. We've been through personal struggles, individual and struggles together. Life will hit you and kind of knock you off your feet sometimes. But one thing that I always say is, God, I thank God that I have you. I thank God that I have your word, because I don't know what I would do if it wasn't for those cases. If it wasn't for me being able to really, hear the word of God, study the word of God, and really gain wisdom and peace, I don't know how we would have made it a lot of times. And that's just me being honest.
Right.
And so I can honestly say that it took for us to sometimes have real conversations with ourselves and say, all right, you gotta grow up in this area. You gotta do better in this area. And even people, surrounding yourself with people that want you to do better and that literally are better. You gotta surround yourself. If you are the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room. He always says that.
Right. Yeah.
He always says that.
I love
and
that.
so it kind of puts you in a place where it's like you need to put yourself around people you can learn from, glean from, put you where you want to go in life, and spiritually and naturally. And so, all of those things combined together, it allows you to really progress you in a way that you're growing, and that you can help others grow by being transparent when you fell, how you fell, and how you got back up. Because it's about restoring your brother and your sister back to Christ. It's not about killing them when they're down.
Yes.
And so that's one thing that we live by, and we try to stand by every day.
And as artists, you both as artists, what keeps you motivated? It's not easy being a creative. That's what I like to call them. It's not easy being a creative when Aunt Sarah, says that, we ain't gonna make no money trying to sing them. Y'all can't be on no Grammy Awards. You can't get no, you got Uncle Boo Boo that says, you gotta be like me. You gotta have a regular job and you can't be no artist. How do you stay motivated? I think it's so important that you both are young and married and artists. How do you stay motivated? I'm sure somebody needs to hear that.
I think there's three things for us that keeps us motivated. One, we study. We study like crazy.
Wow.
We study everything. We study music. We study concerts. We study life. We study the Bible. We study. Wow. So that's one thing we do on a regular basis. And that keeps us inspired. We watch other people's concerts. We listen to other people's albums, their record, to see what they're doing, see what we don't like, what we don't want to do, what we want to make sure is captivated in what we do. So studying is one thing for us. Listening to our inspirations. Like I said, listening to music and praying keeps us motivated. And the last thing I think is vision. We both have vision. We both have the same passion and the same ministry mind, the same heart, the same love and God-like heart that we want to impact the world with through our music and through just that conversation piece. So those things keep us, motivated to keep making more music, do everything we do.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And another thing I can say, just to add on to that, all of those things together, as well as for me, I really love helping people. We love helping people. We love just being a part of helping somebody get out of a dark place, or just giving somebody hope when they don't have any at that moment. And Lord knows 2020 done brought us all some situations where we felt hopeless. So, those things really keep me going. It gives me that juice. Like, God, if I'm winning souls for you, I'm doing something at that point. Like, I feel fulfilled. It's really not about material things for me. But, making God pleased, man, that gets me going.
If I never, I know you said in the beginning, this thing was about ministry. You said it from the beginning. If I even thought you were a liar, like, oh, please, everybody says that. Everybody does that. Hearing you and your husband, because you can only be fake but so much. Hearing you and your husband about your passion and the principles he gave a while ago about how you stay motivated, I just want to say hats off to both of you with the whole ministry piece, because it's apparent that you both are keeping God first. And I know that's why he's going to yet even still more bless you. So let's talk about this song that you were just talking about, this single that Let's talk about that.
Rejoice. Yes. So we put out a single 2018 named Rejoice, and it was our first single out of, I think we wrote like 12 songs.
More than that.
Yeah, we wrote more than that, but it was like within a couple of months we wrote to like 12 songs. And so we put out Rejoice, and Rejoice was special to our heart because at the time we wrote it out of our struggle. We literally wrote it out of our struggle. And so I wanted to be real, and I wanted to show people some examples of real life situations that everybody could go through and that can kind of knock you off or discourage you in the moment. But just understanding God's word, which says that all things, the bad things, the things don't feel good, the things that you just want to get up out of, they're going to work out for your good because he said so. He promised. If you love the Lord, they're going to work out for your good. And so we really wanted to capture that message in our music video as well as the song, and kind of give people some encouragement, going through hard times. And I think that is something that you can listen to forever. Hard times don't, they don't last always, but I definitely wanted to encourage them through this song.
And one thing we wanted to encourage people about was perspective is everything.
Yes.
So if you're going through something and you feel defeated and you act defeated, you defeated.
Yep.
But if you have a rejoicing atmosphere, attitude, you're gonna win. Because at the end, if you ain't soaking in that, you're gonna think of something positive to bring you out of that mess, or a solution for that problem that's right there in front of you.
That's right.
So that's one of the main things that Rejoice is about, and the video is about, and our music is about.
It's about perspective. That's right.
So is this your first video that you've done?
Yes, it's our first video, our first music video, which it was an amazing process. We actually came up with the concept and everything with our video. We did everything down to the setup. We used somebody from our church, which is an amazing videographer, Steve Forte, and he really helped us to capture our concepts in the video. And legit, I went and typed
Forte Media, shout out Forte Media.
Forte Media.
Forte Media, y'all hear that?
That's right. And I took myself to the library, typed out some eviction notices and termination letters. I said, we're going to do this. We did it at our church at the beach, and we got it done. Thanks be to God, with some help from people in our church, and our bishop for letting us use our church and supporting us through it. But we got it done, and this was our first time sitting and editing a whole video. Every minute of it, we sat and edited it and figured out what we wanted, how we wanted it, and it was an amazing process. It really was.
Wow. So I see you taking control of your ministry, because there's a business side. So you both work the business together.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
wow. And do you think that's far better than maybe hiring someone else to come in? And I heard your husband say a while ago about vision. So nobody can really do a video for you if it's not your, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that's when, like, in this generation, like, we listen to all types of music. We don't just listen to gospel. We watch all types of different videos. And this generation, one thing that's getting lost is their video concept. Like, your song is talking about one thing, and your video is not lining up with your song.
Oh my God, yes.
And those things make your message that much more captivating.
Consistent.
So, right. So that's something that's like a very big detail to us that we have studied. We know what videos impact us as kids. So those same formulas, you hold on to, you duplicate it. You just make it your own.
That's right.
To package your message.
And if I would ask you, and we're wrapping it up, give me a word that describes, that you embody for being married in ministry. What's one word that you can tell the listening audience? Maybe there's a, sometimes I look at not everything on TV, but they had grown up hip hop. And I know JoJo was marrying that girl, and she was like, "You always in the studio," and she was mad. That's my job. Right. So I want people to hear, from you both. Give me a word, each of you. Give me a word that you can say you embody that helps you with the marriage and ministry, because I know it's not easy. Some people just can be married, but you guys have a purpose and you have a ministry, and it's touching thousands of lives. So I know the enemy tries to throw his little ugly, dirty, disgusting face somewhere around, sometimes in thoughts or whatnot. How do you combat? What's the word you use to combat that enemy. And somebody might need to hear that. That's maybe thinking about, I met this dude in church and I done heard this girl and him on this radio. So maybe I'm going to go on and do it. I don't know. Maybe somebody's hearing you. So do that for me, please.
Okay. All right. He wants me to go first. Well, first thing that we would say, I don't know if I can put it into one word. Because, I think one thing that's really important, especially in this generation, is first of all, transparency. It's big because our generation, millennials, we like real. That's why you can't just come into church and tell us anything. And that's why the generation is being lost, because you got to give us something real. You can't give us a bunch of rules and say, you shall not, and not really give us the breakdown of things. So transparency is one thing that I would say is real. And transparency is that, no, it's not easy. It's hard. And when God has called you to something, yes, the enemy comes. He comes 10 times harder, and he sicks his minions and his friends to follow up with him, just in case he misses you. They're gonna follow up. Right. That's how it happens.
That's how he does.
It's not easy, but I think one thing for us is focus. God always brings you back to the place of, why are you doing this? Remember what I said to you. Remember what I called you to. And don't embarrass me. Don't have me out here looking crazy. And I think that kind of gets you back in line. Even when you want to slip, even when you mess up, even when you drop the ball, I think that gets you back in line because, even working in ministry, we work full time in our church. Full time. We are full time in the music ministry. My husband is the MD of the music ministry. And so we work full time with the praise team and the choir alongside of the other leaders in the church. And so, with that, there's a big responsibility outside of our music that we take on. And that keeps us in line as well, because it gives you responsibility. And it also allows you to know that, people are looking at you. And no matter how much you don't want them to, there's always somebody watching you. And because of that, you do have a responsibility in life. So we keep those things at our focus. And that's what I'll say for me, but I'll let my husband tell his version.
You did a lot of talking, preacher.
Sorry, honey.
That's all right. Yes,
nah, she good. I would say grace. Something I'm learning. I'm learning it now in my marriage and everything else too. Like the same grace that God gives me is the same grace that you deal with other people. And I think that's just the best thing, simplest thing I could say, because it's like, not only in relationships and people, because like you put expectations on people and people fail, no matter what. So, you have to extend the same grace that God, you fail and you sin and you fall in some way every day.
Every day.
You're a flawed individual, but God still gives you grace.
Every day.
Daily. So I say grace is the embodiment of my message.
But I thank you both. We're wrapping it up. We're gonna have to get you down here in Delaware. It's not that far.
We down, man.
So you speak to audiences? It sounds like the lady. So that she does some speaking. I don't know. I ain't gonna put nothing on her, but I'm just saying.
She could do it.
I'm just saying. She do some speaking, And husband, you too. I ain't gonna leave you out.
I sit behind the piano or the drums.
I think that, and I wouldn't say preaching, but definitely speaking on life experiences and being able to encourage people through transparency, God's love, and grace. And I think that any opportunity to encourage somebody, we jump at that. So, of course, whatever is needed for the kingdom, we down.
Don't worry, I'll be calling. Don't you worry. So before we go, please let everybody know how we can see this awesome video and where we can order this single from, because that's important. We want to support.
Yes, absolutely. You can catch our music video to Rejoice on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Talasia Music. You can find that on there. And also you can download oh yes, let me spell my name, because I don't know if y'all ever heard Talasia before. So that is TALASIA Music, MUSIC, and that is Instagram and Facebook as well. You can find me on there. You can catch our single everywhere that you can download music. That's iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, Amazon Music, whatever you go searching for a title. You can find it on there. And stay tuned because we got some stuff coming soon. Follow us on our channels. We got some upcoming videos we're working on. We got some stuff coming, and God is really blessing.
Coming for you guys.
Yes, merchandise.
Dope stuff coming.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Right. I'm trying to find a song. I have to look for. I think of the hair. But I'm very jealous of my aunties are my favorite. Blue. Let's get it. So I we appreciate you. What is one thing you want to say to this global audience in London and Nigeria who's going through something with their young people? What do you want? What message do you want to give before we end the broadcast today?
Well, I think that the last message I would like to leave with you guys is definitely we are in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know what's coming next. A crazy election is up and coming next week. It's people out here talking about civil war. Our communities are failing right now. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. A lot of people don't know how they're paying their bills, eating tomorrow. And at this time, I would literally push nothing else on you but to hold tight to God in this season. If you don't know him, pick up a Bible, do some research, pick up some Hebrew translations too, because we into that. We know all about it. Okay? We don't only do King James version over here. All right. Get you some translations, get you some word in you, and really understand who's in control. Once you understand who's in control, ain't nothing to be scared about. Ain't nothing that can stop you, touch you, block you, nothing. God is with you. He's fighting with you every day. We love you. We're here rocking with you, just little old us. And thank you for supporting us. Thank you for having us on your show. We love you so much.
Yes.
And thank you again. Yes, that's about it.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Nigeria, we will see y'all soon.
We'll see y'all soon.
That's all I'm going to say.
I know that's right. So listen, you've heard it here on the Dr. Ira Show here at I Worship 96. Let's go out and support this awesome anointed couple. So many life lessons, a blessing to the world. Let's go support them. Thank you again. This has been the Dr. Ira Show here on I Worship 96. We'll be back next week at 9 o'clock a.m. God bless you. Have a good day.